How's everybody doing? My name is BobGodz, and this is going to be the second episode of the BobGodz Show. So my name is BobGodz, and for those who don't remember or just never saw me, I'm an avid Call of Duty player, as you can see here. And what I like to do on my channel is I upload videos of me playing Call of Duty, getting some good scores and winning. And then I put a commentary over it, telling you guys how I did it, giving you guys tips and tactics. So that's essentially what I'm trying to do here. And I am using the P90. This is going to be another episode with a submachine gun. I'm sorry, but I'll try and diversify later. And I think I'm using the perks Scavenger, Stopping Power, and Steady Aim. So in this episode I want to talk about the importance of Scavenger and Claymores, since it is free-for-all. I also want to talk about how I approach this map in terms of tactics. Give you guys some tips on kill streaks and other ways of being more effective and essentially winning in free-for-all. So I first off want to begin with the importance of the Claymores and Scavenger, and why I always make sure I use Scavenger on any type of gameplay, especially free-for-all, is one, free-for-all is a gameplay where you want to stay alive as long as you can, build up kill streaks, and essentially win. And doing that with different guns throughout the game may be hard for some players. For instance, if you're not using Scavenger and you're forced to pick up a, let's say, a Scar H with a red dot, well, you're not going to be silenced anymore, which means your enemies are going to come towards you, which for some people they don't like, and for others they enjoy. For me, my preference is to be silenced though. And essentially, I think for an average player who doesn't want to constantly switch out weapons throughout the game, Scavenger is going to be the best first perk in order to win in free-for-all. And that's really how I approach this map in terms of perks. I wanted to live as long as I could, build up as much air support as I could get, and win this game as fast as I could. So that's why I tried to do. And as you see there, I got some kill streaks on. I got my precision airstrike. And before I go on the kill streaks, why Scavenger and Claymores are important is I think the best way to play any free-for-all map or any free-for-all game is to approach it as not super defensive, but I won't call it camping, and I won't call it really rushing. I don't really like to run around in free-for-all. Although there might not be as great players as in Search and Destroy, for instance, you're not going to have a very good time running around, getting a lot of kills, and it's not going to work in terms of kill-death ratio and essentially maybe winning. So I always make sure I have Claymores to just give me a sense of security of where I'm at. And what that does for me is that lets me secure entrances that I don't want anyone to come through. That lets me to, in some terms, protect my back so I don't have to worry about that. And that can just make my job a whole lot easier. So on the basis of kill streaks, I did mess up in this game. I'm using a really odd kill streak setup, which I'm going to highly suggest you do not attempt to use. I think my actual kill streaks here were the precision airstrike, the Pavlo, and I want to say the chopper gunner. Now I recorded this quite a long time ago. I believe it was about 2 weeks. So I'm not completely sure, but I believe that is what I'm using. And why I would not advise against that is, for those who are not average or at least good in this game, finding the other enemies can be a very hard time for some people, and that's why essentially UAVs just go and help you. And what I like to do in free-for-all is try and bulk my kill streaks up as close as I can get them, but also at the same time get as much out of them. Now in this case, I really wanted to get a lot of power with my kill streaks, so I really went far. And if you can handle living long and the ability to not get killed, you may want to attempt what I did here. But otherwise, my kill streak suggestion would probably go as this. I would start off with a UAV, that's 3 kills. And from that point on, I'd probably go with the Predator missile, which is 2 kills after, or 5 kills. And in some cases you can get 2 kills right away with the Predator missile, but in most cases you get 1. So after the Predator missile, I'd probably go with a Harrier airstrike. So overall, The max amount of kills I need to get is 7, and with the Predator missile that may only be 6 or 5. So that's probably going to work best for the average gamer and the average player, and I like to clump my kill streaks together. Now otherwise, if you want to come in loaded and get some real kill streaks going, I probably begin off with the Predator missile, Harrier airstrike, and then chopper gunner. I think I messed up as I said here, so otherwise I'm going to begin with the tactics now. So like I said, I don't want to begin this map or any free-for-all map. Just begin rushing, because that's not going to work. In my experiences, it never has, and I don't think it ever will. I don't really want to camp back, because that also does not work all the time. Camping, especially in free-for-all, the only way I would suggest camping is if you have an aggressive enemy and they keep coming towards you and you can get kills that way. Otherwise, you probably need to move around some. And in terms of how I approached it, is I usually like to stick towards one area. In this case, I chose the back of terminal, the very far end of it. And I stuck to this part of the map because there's a lot of spaces to hide between. As you saw there, I was using the counter to protect from the gunfire. And I didn't want to be smack dab in the middle, like in the airplane, because in that case I had to protect the side entrance, the front entrance of the plane, and the back entrance of the plane, and that could be difficult, and I didn't want to risk it. So I chose to be able to guard my back and only worry about my front, and in terms of doing that, I simply moved towards the back of the map, and that's how I did it. So that's really in terms of how I did it. I simply stuck to one area. I moved around, and I kind of just sweep through that area through times. And as you see here, this is my area. Back of the map, I basically, for the most part, lay down claymores towards any entrances, as you can see to my right. And for the most part, that's the video, guys. So I want to recap here in the last closing minutes. As far as effectiveness goes, the perks that I would highly suggest is Scavenger. In terms of whether it should be stopping power or hardline, that's completely up to you. I think you could easily do without stopping power on some guns, so that is to whatever advantage you want it to be. And as far as the last perk, I only wanted to use steady aim because I'm using a P90, and sometimes with the P90, it's safer to simply just use hipfire accuracy, because sometimes you get into those situations where you see the other enemy and he sees you, and sometimes you aiming in will cost you your life. So that's why I always use steady aim with a P90, and it works overall pretty well. Again, as for the tactics, I like to stick towards the outside parts of the map and just clean sweep it up. Don't let anyone near me, or for that matter near my area. And I just make sure I watch it carefully, and I don't like to run out anywhere basically. Once I begin a free-for-all game, I like to just find an area real quick, no matter where it is, and it's usually an area where I can protect my backside and only have to worry about the front. So once again, I think my final score here is 30-1. I was using the P90, so I hope you guys enjoyed. And as always, make sure you guys rate, subscribe, and comment. And I'm interested in what you guys thought. So once again, my final score is 31. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in Modern Warfare 2.